There are sons, and as they grow up, getting them to talk can become a little difficult.
And some experts recommend feeding them first, talking to them while you walk maybe, or maybe letting them know ahead of time you would like to talk. Well, tonight, our Sandra Ali, who has boys of her own, is getting some advice from a local expert.
If you're a boy mom, you know it's not always easy to get them to open up. And now a former teacher turned into a coach for kids is sharing expert advice that could help your family.
Andrew Carpenter is 10 and loves playing all sorts of sports.
I like playing basketball, baseball, swimming, golf. Those are like my top four.
His mom, Sandra, knew she wanted to see some changes at home.
I think it just my husband and I came across it with Andrew. Nothing earth-shattering, but just, helping us navigate hormones and homework and time management and maybe emotions, sibling rivalry, or, like fighting in the household.
Sandra turned to Gina King, a former first-grade teacher, now a personal coach focusing on kids.
The purpose of coaching is to teach a child the skills that they are able to be seen and heard, and they are just as valuable, even if they're a child or an adult.
Gina's youngest client is a 5-year-old kindergartner.
Good job.
She's been working with Andrew for the last few months. The biggest difference she sees between working with boys compared to girls?
I think that girls, though, have been taught for a lot longer that we get to talk about our emotions, we get to talk about our feelings. It's okay for us to express if we want to cry or feel upset, where I think little boys have been taught for a really long time, big boys don't cry, and those kinds of things, like boys don't cry.
Andrea Papadopoulos has 3 boys. With Gina's help, she's figured out timing is everything.
I found that when I give myself that okay to get in their bed with them and lay with them, that's when they open up the most. I'm like, all right, so tell me how your day went. Or, we'll read a book and then we'll turn the lights off. And my oldest is usually, that's when he's like, and he tells me everything. Whereas I feel like when the day is going and passing and you're flying, you don't have that time to sit and hear about, how you're feeling and how are things going. And I did start with something with my boys a while ago, and we do a mommy and me journal, and I have it between each of the boys, and I write them a note, put it under the pillow, they write back to me, and then we have open communication. So if something's going on, they feel comfortable enough to write to me about, like, hey, mommy, this happened at school today. And I'll be like, that's a bummer, let's do this to, help, and they don't feel nervous,
Gina reminds parents age is also a factor.
I would say as far as boys going as not having the confidence, I noticed from 4th grade to 5th grade, there's a huge gap in building that confidence, where in 4th grade, there's still much of that little child. And now in 5th grade, they're figuring out, I'm not such a kid anymore. Who am I?
Sandra Ali reporting for us tonight. Another piece of advice from the author of the book, Decoding Boys. Talk to your son while you're driving around with them in the car. We know you're always driving. Not having to make that direct eye contact with you can make them a little bit more comfortable talking. That's some good advice.
Especially in our era of screens and, all that stuff that kind of can sometimes separate us.